my goodness. Wow. You already know we running it back. Welcome to Underground Box. Here, Mr. Underground. Mr. Did I mention that? Oh my goodness. Wow. You already know what we coming with. You already know what we coming with. Ah, Duke's boxing gloves, man. Duke's boxing gloves. If y'all ain't got none, y'all better get you a pair. Shout out to Coach Jose and shout out to my man Kev. These are the horsehair 10-ounce joints. Perfect. But back to the topic. I got my guy coming in. They doing a thing on the promotion side of things, and we're gonna get right into it. March 28th, Harris Casino. Oh my goodness, wow, March 28th, Harris Casino is going down. Strictly Biz Promotion. Strictly Biz Promotion is back in the building. The last show was a banger. It was co-promotion with Hard Hitting Promotion. Shout out to Manny and someone else. I can't remember who it was, but I know it was a three promotion type thing. It was super crowded. Great fight. Shout out to Adonis. He came in and did his thing. That Adonis is a fighter who is with Strictly Biz, the new Iron Mike Tyson. He's undefeated right now. He have a lot of knockouts to match that undefeated list. And he's back at it. Shout out to Jalik Holton. I'm sorry. Jalik Holton, another undefeated guy. He's been out for a little bit, but he's back. He is making his return to the ring. Delaware's own. Did I mention that? Oh my goodness! Wow, Delaware's own. He's putting Delaware on his back. There's a lot of guys from Delaware. I'm not going to get all the way into that because we talk about March 28th right now. Harris Casino, Strictly Biz. I'm super excited about this fight. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a nice crowd, and it's going down. It's going down. You know, I'm always excited, especially about that fight game. I love the fight game. You know, when you let a fight game, any fight you go to is exciting for you. So I just sent my guy a link to hop on. But boxing is back. Boxing is definitely back. We have a lot of fights. Here we go. We got a lot of fights. Not only is this guy, they great promoters, his son is actually a great fighter. A great
Can you
fighter.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we perfect.
All right, we here, man. So I want you to introduce yourself to the world before we even start. Let's introduce. Welcome to Underground Boxing News. Y'all already know y'all here with Mr. Underground. Mr. Did I mention that? Oh my goodness! Wow. Introduce yourself to the world, brother, please.
Well, my name is Rashad Brown. I'm the CEO, one half production of Strict Biz Promotions. I'm a former pro undefeated boxer and also a trainer, current trainer too. So based out of Delaware, originally from Southwest Philadelphia.
Now let's talk about March 28th, man. But before we get in March
Ooh.
28th, I gotta give you guys big ups to your last show. Because it feel good seeing y'all come from where y'all come from to where y'all at right now and where y'all going. This only the tip of the iceberg. This ain't even the whole thing. But y'all last show before we even get to the fights was a banger.
Yes.
Sold out, great fights, different promotions. Yeah, but was it three promotions or two promotions?
Yeah, yeah, we did a three-way split co-promotions. Or I don't know if you want to call it co or try promotions, but three promoters.
Mm. What was the excitement working with other promoters?
Yo, it was super exciting because you got to see a different way that they do things. They got to see a different way we do things. They learned off of us just as we learned little tips off of them and all about networking. And I think my biggest thing about that whole experience was showing that promoters could come together because in this day and era, a lot of promoters, they beefing or they hating with the next man guy or the next man show. And we literally had no egos. We all came together and when we voiced concerns and opinions and vice versa, we all was able to come to the table. So I just hope it showed and set precedents for something in the future that people could work together and throw all the hate aside. Like we all got one goal, but we in the same lane, but we different brands.
Now, do you feel with the promotions coming together that it'd be easier for easier for you guys to throw bigger fights? Did you hear the question?
Yeah, you said I'm sorry, somebody called. You said easier for fights to be made.
Yes. Is it easier when all the promoters come together? Is it easier to make the bigger fights?
Yes, yes, agree. It's super easy because now we could come to the table and we could come to the table correct and already have a rapport. So when promoters work together, fights could be made. And I think a lot of reasons why today fights is not being made because of egos and hate and hatred towards one another. So if promoters start to work together, co-promotions, and stop worrying about greed, we could get the fans what they really want.
Absolutely. Now you got some fighters under strictly biz. Let's talk about Jalik Holden, another undefeated guy. He's coming back. He's been out for a little bit, but he's coming back. What is the expectations for this when he come back? Being as though he got Delaware on his back right now. He definitely
Yeah.
got Delaware on his back. What is the expectations out of Jalik?
Yo, Jalik Holden. So he's in a prospect status right now, 8-0. Last fight a year ago, beat a guy that was 13-1. So it was a major step up, and he passed the test. So I think this year is going to be Jalik breakout year where you're going to see him on them TV networks. You're going to see him in big fights. 2026 is major, and he was coming off a year layoff due to injury. So it was a little inactivity, stuff that we couldn't, foresee. It just happened, but 2026 is Jalik breakout year.
How active would you like Jalik to be under the strictly biz promotion?
Well, I would like him to be real active. A lot of that just depending on how his body feeling, how tough the fights are. Like Jalik, he make tough fights actually look easy and everything. So if he could stay healthy and keep his body right, I would look to try to have Jalik at least 3 to 4 times this year.
Mm. So y'all want him to go for a little title. Y'all want him for a title shot to beginning of next year, mid next year.
That that's the plan. We want to knock on the door. And like I said, with his last victory over a 13-1 guy, he put a lot of people on notice and on the map.
Now y'all got another guy, the new Iron Mike. The new Iron
Ooh.
Mike. Now he's undefeated. Now, also with his undefeatedness, he have a lot of stoppages on his record, on his resume, with him being undefeated. Now, him not being in the game as long as a lot of people, do y'all got that comfort where y'all can take him? Do y'all feel like he's the fighter that can go to that next step?
Yes, and the thing I like about him, it's a gift and a curse. Him not having that decorated amateur pedigree, you always see a little flaws in the game. But the blessing about that is that he don't know these fighters. He not a big boxing fan, so he comes and fight anybody in front of him with no respect. And when he comes and fight you with no respect, that's what makes him a blessing because he's not going to be hesitant. He don't care what your name, he don't care your resume because he don't know. So you just a regular name to him. And guess what? By him not having that little cautiousness, it makes him even dangerous to his opponent because most fighters that got a name, they expect that the opponent will, how do I say it, will tiptoe with caution. He
Mhm.
don't tiptoe with caution, so he oblivious to the situation, which make him dominant.
Now, with that new Iron Mike, do you feel like sometimes he because he an aggressive fighter. I've been to a few of his fights. Do you feel like that aggression can sometimes can hurt him, or you just let him do him?
Man, that's dude is like a pit bull that been locked up in the yard. When it's fight time, he finally get a chance to roam. So I don't want to change or take away his natural temperament. Sometimes you gotta let a dog eat. So
Now
you
I
know
know he rely a lot on his power because I've seen him take a lot of people down. Like I said, not only is he undefeated, he stopped a lot of people.
he stopped every man that he ever faced.
Now, later in his career, is he going to move up in weight or come down in weight?
So we actually looking to come down in weight a little bit because he's not the biggest guy in that weight class, even though his punching power says that. So we possibly looking to come down a little bit in weight to the 140, the campaign junior welterweight.
Mm. How soon can we expect him to introduce himself to the 140?
Pretty much, we actually looking for like to like the end of this year, possibly going into 2027. Just slow walking it down.
Now you also have a son that's saying that Amber's a little Levi. What is the number one kid right now? He's number one in the world right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, with that pressure on his back and also your back, because you also the trainer and a promoter, how do you find a way to balance out so much stuff at one time? You know, the young guys stay super active with the nationals, all types of tournaments, and everything else. They got school. How do you balance out that time from your son to these undefeated prospects that you also deal with and the strictly biz promotion?
Yo, that was a great question because I actually battle with this all the time. And on top of just being a family man, being a
Hmm.
husband, being a father. So this is a tough battle that I actually go through all the time. But it's it's all about time management. And honestly, like I'm working around the clock so much, I tell myself like I'm really gonna get my rest when the Lord called me up. So like I said, I'm just around the clock and I'm just getting it till I break down every door possible. So I'm just managing every little bit of time and I put my own personal self on the back end for others. But I know my time is coming once I keep giving more of me.
Now, do you feel like you can ever fight on one of your shows? Do you ever think you
Yo,
going to jump back in the ring, being though you are undefeated as a professional fighter?
that was that always been a thought, and I think that would be super super lit. But like with my future right now, and then just the time, I don't even think I have enough time to physically get back together. I'm dealing with my eye injury and stuff like that, so like it always a dream. But I think like the older I'm getting, I'm starting to get a little bit more at peace outside the ring, though. So I don't think I'll be doing that.
Absolutely. Now, strictly biz, man. Like I said, y'all start in Delaware. Y'all start from small venues, gyms, rec centers, to going to the Harris Casino, going to live
Live,
casinos, selling out. I mean, selling out. Pack
yeah.
house. What is the future for strictly biz promotion just for the 2026 approaching 2027?
So Strict Biz has a busy schedule, and our next goal is actually just to go nationwide. Like we already conquered the tri-state now, which was a goal of ours. So now, from the future, 2026 on up, we trying to be nationally wide, and then after nationally wide, possibly go globally.
Mm.
So one step at a time, but we definitely looking to make some noise nationally this year.
So it's strictly business round for the long run.
Yeah, man, it's not nothing personal. It's strictly business.
I like that. I like that. I mentioned that. I like that. I like how you put that one together, man. Now we know y'all got March 28th. Y'all just had a card. Previously was it 2 months ago. Let's talk
Yeah.
about how many fights can Strictly Biz throw this year? How many? What y'all got in the work for this year? How many cards this year? Just for
So
2026.
pretty much we got four for the year, but we also might have another co-promotions as well. So we could end the year with possibly five, but guarantee four cards this year.
Now y'all bring a guy back, Greg Hackett. I know Greg Hackett fought on y'all cards previously. He's back. What's the relationship with Greg Hackett?
Oh man, like Greg Hackett shares a personal spot in my heart just by naturally being a friend. And he's actually a guy that I actually personally fought on a professional level as well. So, we definitely have history and stuff like that. And I took this promoter position to always to do people right. And
Absolutely.
I think like if I say I did that, my actions had to show that as well. So when it comes to Greg Hackett, I always try to take care of him and put him in the best position as well because this is what I took the job to help guys out like Greg Hackett. Greg Hackett furthered a lot of guys' career, so somebody need to pour back into him, and why not be me? That's why I took the position.
Absolutely. Now, not only does Greg Hackett fight, he's an outstanding trainer. He does train one of Philly top guys, which is my guy, Mr. Jesse Hart. Mr. Jesse
True.
Hart. Did I mention that? He definitely trained him, and he got a lot of fighters under him. So
Yep.
now you also being a fighter, you also being a promoter, you also being a trainer. What's the most difficult part about that job when you fighting and training at the same time?
Man, it's two different hats, but it's super tough because when you being a trainer, that's one of the most unselfish spots that you could put yourself in because you have to, cater to another person. You have to pour into their dream and their goals. So you take away from yourself. And then while you currently still fighting, you got to find the time to be unselfish and selfish at the same time. So it kind of contradicts itself. So I think what make that position so hard is just finding that fine balance to make sure your fighter's right and you're not taking too much of of third time trying to train yourself and vice versa, not taking too much away from yourself.
Mm, I like that.
So you
March
yeah,
28th. What fights are you excited about for March 28th?
March 28th, I'm super excited about the main event. We got Jalik Holden coming back after a year layoff. He's fighting a kid, Nathan Threat, from South Carolina. And man, the kid Nathan Threat, he actually got good wins over undefeated guys. He beat one of Strict Business own David Hassauce Hardy, give Hassauce Hardy his first loss. So uh, what makes this unique to me is that this is a personal fight, especially for Jalik Holden, because Jalik Holden calls little David Hardy his little brother. So he feel like he has to avenge his little brother only and first loss. So he's actually fighting a guy who beat his little brother. So it's
Now,
personal.
now, could that also be dangerous because we know what Jalik gonna go out there and try to do? Can he lose? Can he get sidetracked from that?
Yes, a fighter could get sidetracked, but when you destined for greatness and stuff like that, you have to take the chances. You have to take the risk. And me knowing Jalik and me knowing his experience level, Jalik not gonna let the stage or the script, you know, go offset a course. So he knows what he have to do. He knows that he have to execute, and he's disciplined enough to do what he need to do.
From your chair, how important is it for the fighters to actually listen to their coaches, and how important is it for the coaches to know what to say when they get in tough positions in these fights?
It's real tough because a corner is not just a trainer. You got to be a motivator too. You got to wake somebody up when they sleep. You got to know what to say to them to like that fighter, the fire, and you got to be able to sometimes calm them down. So it's important to know that person relationship with your fighter, not just on a boxing standpoint, but outside the ring because every fighter is different, and you got to know certain things could wake fighters up, and sometimes you got to pull and put the leash on the fighter too as well. Like I'll use for example for myself. I always was a calm manner fighter, so I never got hyped because I don't need to waste that energy outside the ring. I need to put it on that man. So if you go into my locker room, it'd be R&B and smooth jazz, and people be like, "What the fuck? We getting ready for a fight?" But it's like, let me bottle up so I can express it out. So if somebody would get me hype early, they might tap me out too fast.
Mm.
I need to bottle. So I think it's really important to listen to your corner, and for a trainer, really know your fighter in and out because every fighter is different.
Every fighter is definitely different. But what I'm outside looking in as a just a fan of the sport, a lot of times guys don't listen to their corner when it get tough. A
Yes.
lot now is do they mentally already lose the fight, or they just trying to figure out their own way to get out of this situation?
So I think they're trying to figure out their own way to get out the situation. And sometimes in the confidence mark, sometimes they think like my trainer is not seeing what I'm seeing right now. And the trainer's feeling the opposite way of the fighter not listening. He's not seeing what the trainer outside is seeing. So I think that's where it really comes with that bond and really having that confidence to really listen. Because some fighters under pressure, they won't listen. They'll go to a natural instance within themselves. And that could be the best a blessing for them. It could be a negative for them. But I think that's where you have to trust your trainer at because he's outside of the ring. So he's seeing a new angle, a new dimension, and something that you're not seeing. So you have to listen.
Definitely. Now, everybody's saying fighters come and go. Everybody's saying fighters, no matter how good the relationship is under the promotion company,
Absolutely.
fighters always come and go. I'm quite sure. I know you guys haven't dealt with that, but mentally prepared as a promoter? Are you guys mentally prepared for a hold in it go, or the new arm might be like, yo, you know what?
Uh,
I'm out of here.
So I hate to say this, but we haven't dealt with it on a promoter level, but we also trainers as well, and we have done it on the training level. And an old time trainer used to always tell me, he used to say, excuse my French, but fighters is like whores. You know, they come and go and they on to the next best thing. So I think at the point in time, you know, you want to go into a business relationship with not no bad luggage and, you know, just pray and hope for the best. So, you know, I don't let spoiled apples ruin the future. So, you know, all I look and I can see if I just be authentic. I always have integrity and also be transparent. Transparent because I want you to know everything that we're doing. If you know everything we're doing, you don't have to come up with your own conclusions. And if you still leave after all that, it's nothing I could do. You know what I'm saying? I have to understand that business is business. And I hate that you couldn't grow with us or we couldn't grow with you, but you kind of mentally prepare yourself because you know that's the game and you know it's going to come and nothing ain't perfect in this world. So you kind of got to take your emotions out of it and, you know, keep it business. But, you know, you also, it's hard. You spend the time with this person, you're going to love and care for this person, but you got to try to take emotions out because it's going to happen.
David Hot Sauce, I know there was a prospect you guys had super high expectations. He took his first loss. What was that conversation like? Being a promoter, also helping out, training, seeing a kid develop. What was that first conversation like after he lost?
It was super, super tough, especially that how upset he was, how upset we were. But I think it was a blessing in disguise because David Hot Sauce Hardy, he dared to be great. He wanted to be great, and he's still so young. You know, he turned pro at 17 years old and only a fresh 19 right now. So sometimes things happen for reasons that we don't understand, that we don't. But I know he's still had a lot of maturing physically. I think mentally, he's one of the sharpest fighters that I know and skill wise, one of the sharpest, but he still got to get a little bit more physicality and stuff like that. So it kind of was a blessing in disguise. Wish it never happened, but he's still so young that he already looking on to the next, and he's looking just to grow and not rush the process.
So my the good thing about that is if you look at a Tevin Farmer who had a few losses in the beginning of his career and to take the steps to where he at now, is like he been on TV for big guys. He's still active to this day. You know, he retired and come back all the time. So I really feel like it's better for the fighters to take their losses earlier and then later on
Yes,
in their career. Because once you take your
yes,
losses early, you already know who's going to deal with you or who's not going to deal with you. Previously, when Danny Garcia took his first loss, the whole Philadelphia turned on him. And I'm not saying turned on him
yes,
like start hating him. People stopped coming to the gym. People stopped looking for him. People stopped reaching out for him. And that happened. But when you take that loss early, like at Tevin Farmer, your career can still can be on a straight and narrow and you can still get the big fights. Longer the confidence don't come out of the fighter. Longer the confidence,
yes.
he just David Hot Sauce, he just fought with your last card and got the win. Now I want to know what that conversation was about. What was his emotions like after that fight?
So his motions was really tough, and what made it worse was, you know, just neighborhood friends and the boxing community because everybody had an opinion. Even if they didn't know boxing, they had an opinion. And when we sat there and talked, I had to let him understand and let him know that when you in this boxing game or even when you're in the spotlight, you're gonna have positive people, you're gonna have negative people, but you also have to stay true to yourself. So you know certain places where you went wrong, the trainers know certain places where they went wrong and everything, right? And we have to learn and we have to grow. So basically I just had to tell them like block the people out. You know, you feel good when somebody big you up, but then it hurts when somebody tell you something wrong. But that comes with life. So, you know,
Absolutely.
a lot of boxing is life aspects, you know. Anytime you popping, you're gonna have haters. That's just come with it, you know.
Absolutely.
So I just had to just give him life lessons, and the kid is just so mature. You know, after a couple of days, he understood and he was like, "I'm ready to get back to the drawing board." And he was trying to get a fight within a month because
Mm.
he was like, "I want to erase this out my mind." and we literally gave him a fight about 6 weeks later. And they say you as good as your last fight, so he back on top.
I'm gonna ask you this, right? What would be that feeling? Strictly Biz Promotion headline the Wells Fargo.
Oh
Fifteen
man, that would
thousand, 15,000 bucks in the seat. Did I mention that? Oh my goodness. Wow. What would be that feeling like? Would that be that? You know what? That's the goal we hear. How do you move after that? Because I see a lot of promotion coming and y'all can get there. Y'all
we
can
can,
get
we
there.
can. And you want to know what's so blessing about what we got going on? It's crazy that a lot of promotional companies, they have a good team, man. They have a lot of sponsorships and great marketing and stuff like that. And all our cards, man, we don't have a big sponsorship or anything. So a lot of the things we do come off our back and our
Mm,
earnings. And we made it to the spot where we at with very limited sponsorship. So a lot of our shows is coming out of our pockets. And just to see where we at and doing it the hard way, man, it's amazing because I pray and wish one day we could have them sponsorships like everybody else got. But guess
absolutely.
what? We not falling behind though.
So
So
do it feel? I just want to know this. Do it feel better knowing it's coming from you? Like, okay, this is me. This is the work that me and him is doing. Nobody do it feel better because like it feel like you earned it, or do it feel better if you got sponsors? It's just like, yo, you know what? Y'all can do this. Go ahead and do that.
yo, honestly, it do feel good. It do feel good, but I think sponsorships will feel better though. Like help us out a little bit. Help us help you. But no, man, it feel good and it lets you know that no matter what or whatever your goals is, whatever your dreams is, you keep pushing, and never quit. Like you could break through. And like I said, look where we at now, just coming from money out our own pockets, man, and praying that we could sell a ticket to where we at now. It's amazing. And it's like, yo, I'm not satisfied. And it's not that I'm not ungrateful. I just expect to demand so much more from us. And that's what you're going to keep seeing. We're going to keep on getting better. We're going to keep on growing. And I think the day I be content is the day that we don't grow.
Mm, I like that. I like that. Listen, man, I need a few fight predictions before we get out of here. Also,
Yes,
with
sir.
y'all fight March 28th, Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman, and they fighting for Fundora WBC junior middleweight title. How that fight goes? Who wins that fight?
I think Fandor wins that. He's young, his God ability, stature, southpaw, and Keith Thurman. He's a fun athlete and everything, but his time and his prime is the door is closing a little bit, especially with the layoffs and the injuries that he had previously. So I think all that catches up with you, and especially when you're in your mid 30s, it start to catch up. So it's just Fandora time. I just think stylistically and just father time, you want to see Keith Thurman not going to look like the one time as he normally used to looking.
Absolutely. I want to talk about Carissa Shields. You know, Carissa Shields is huge in that right now. Her going back and forth with 50 Cent. Her going back and forth saying she can beat the kid Rolly. Just what are
Yeah,
your thoughts on just a female? Because it might happen. In this
yeah.
day and time, I feel like they're trying to make that fight happen. Do you feel like a female Carissa Shields could beat a Rolly, a Romero Rolly? Like
Nah,
if
I
it's a
don't look.
real fight, 12 rounds, 3 minutes. Who would you pitch your money on?
I would put my money on Rolly. I'll put my money on Rolly because at the end of the day, Carissa Shields, she is the GOAT. She is the GOAT. But it's a gender for a reason. You even see with these Olympics when they had, transgenders competing as in the female brackets, and they stood out like a man is a man, and nothing to take away from the women, but the man bone density and the testosterone and strength is like that's going to kick in place a gender for a reason. So I truly think like Rolly would definitely demolish her,
Mm.
and that's just what it is. No disrespect.
Being from Philadelphia, both of us from Philadelphia, I want to talk about Jerron Bucinis. He wanted to fight with somebody. We all know who it is. I don't think the fight is happening.
Absolutely.
Charlo is calling him out. Do you feel like Eddie Hearn should accept that fight from Charlo? Now, if he get the fight from Charlo and he performed great, if you have a great performance against Charlo, do you feel like everybody should pick everything else in a back and just leave it where it's at? If you have a great performance against a Charlo, I think we have some technical issues. Bro, I don't know. I hope his phone didn't die, but we're gonna go on. We got a lot of big fights. Floyd Mayweather's coming back. Floyd Mayweather's coming back September 19th. Him and Manny Pacquiao, part two, Las Vegas, Nevada. That's a fight that I'm very, very interested in seeing. That's a fight that I really, really want to be there just to get the experience. Now, with this fight, it doesn't matter who wins or lose. We all know Floyd want to win. We all know Pacquiao want to win too. Fight whereas though this should be a boxing favorite, especially for the guys who haven't had a chance to get to experience Floyd Mayweather fighting, especially when he was in his prime or the end of the year. A lot of people haven't got the chance to experience a Floyd Mayweather fight. So I'm going as a fan. I'm not going as like anything else. I just want to go as a fan. I actually want to enjoy the fight. That's a fight I want to see and enjoy. Another fight that I like to see happen again: Nair Wu Albright versus Frank Martin. They just fought a few weeks ago in Las Vegas. I think that was a very, very close fight. It was a draw. I think that fight should happen again. We need to replay that fight. Let's make it happen. Eddie Hearn, Rodney Rice, let's make it happen. I'm sorry, not Eddie Hearn. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to say that. But PBC, let's make it happen. So another fight that I'm really, really looking forward to is that Keith Thurman, Sebastian Flandor. Keith Thurman been out for a while. You know that fight that supposed to happen. They postponed it. Somebody got hurt. It's going down. I would like to see the winner of that get Javon Boots Ennis. I would like Javon Boots Ennis to fight for a WBC title. He's going around as the best fighter at 154 right now. They saying Javon Boots Ennis is the best fighter at 154. If that fight doesn't happen, I would still like that Charlo fight. I think Charlo with Javon Boots Ennis right now would be a great fight. I think that's the fight that is separate him from everybody else. That fight for Jerron Boots Ennis will separate him from everybody else, especially if he have a great, great fight against him. Now, not saying he got to knock him out or not saying he had to win. It got to be close and it had to be a good fight. That'll be a great fight for Jerron Boots Ennis. A super great fight if that fight can happen. But listen, y'all, it's Underground Boxing News. Mr. Did I mention that? We was live. That was my guy, Strictly Biz. If y'all in the tri-state area, make sure 20 of y'all come out. It's gonna be some great fights. If you guys are in the tri-state area, it's gonna be Chester Harris Casino. Jalik Holden, like he said, undefeated guy, the new Iron Mike, undefeated guy. Jalik been out for a year. He making his day preview, his preview again from him being injured. So we got to see how it go. A lot of guys talk about ring rust, how they don't worry about the ring rust after they be out. But after the fight, they say, yo, you know what? We put in a lot of work. The ring rust was in, but I overcame it. So let's see how that happened. And we out there. Did I mention that? Oh my goodness. Wow.